What's going on, everyone? This is Dr. Mephisto, and welcome to the ride. We're here in Montreal, and the guest I'm getting today is very young. She is one of the newest generation who is conquering the world of battles right now. Hip-hop dancer, locking, house, you name it. And I really can't wait for you to discover her. Let's go. Going on, Kosi?
Boom.
Boom, boom. Let's do this.
Yes.
Okay. So, quick introduction for people who don't know you.
All right. Greetings and salutations, everybody. Kosi, last name Eze, also known as KC. Dancer, daughter, sister. Originally from Nigeria. Moved to Canada when I was 13 years old. Been living here in Mississauga, Toronto ever since. Been dancing for about 7 years now, street dance wise. House, hip hop, anything you could possibly think of. Representing Rebels de la Soul, Symbiotic Monsters, and Sour Patch Crew.
Well, I didn't know you were in Symbiotic Monsters.
Yeah.
Just running it right now. Sick.
Yeah.
So you said been dancing for 7 years?
Yeah.
So who did you start with, by the way?
So I started off street dance, mostly. Actually, we trained in everything. I started with Mariano,
Okay.
Side, Bag of Tricks crew.
Shout out to Mariano.
Yeah. And David Porto. Was a part of their group at the time called Feds, Female Elite Dance Squad.
Right.
Yeah. And that was.
Caldera was in it, right?
Caldera was in it as well.
Right. I remember that.
Yeah.
In a battle as well at Right Foot.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we did. Which battle are you thinking of?
The one where I came with Diana and Jade.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Love his hip hop. When we brought Junior Boogie
Right.
from Montreal.
Right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You had that interesting demo, I remember. let's just stay at this.
Yeah, let's leave it at
Let's leave it at that. Yeah. So just tell me more about your parkour is like your path since let's not go through all the 7 year day by day, but like important moments. Let's say because you're still really young. Like, well, how old are you again?
I'm 24.
There you go.
Well, since those days of being in Feds, kind of narrowed my focus a lot more. Not necessarily putting my hand in everything, but really trying to figure out what style or what form of expression best fits me. So I've done my best to travel around, not just within Canada, having been to Montreal, staple place to go, and Vancouver, but also all over the States, and recently just going to Europe as well and experiencing things over there. So I think most notable things that come to mind right now is going to Blueprint House Dance Festival in Houston. Definitely changed my perception of house dance, and then meeting everybody there. And it was just every time I go, there's missing pieces to this puzzle that that is movement and artistry for me that are being filled. Same with when I went to London as well. Really, really pivotal moment that side of Europe and being introduced to Europe through London. So that was really great. I've met a lot of really good friends from those two events. People that are my like mentors, to me today.
Right. Do you wanna name anyone?
For sure. I didn't want to name drop, but Frankie J.
Yeah.
Nubian Nene, Toyin, and also some people that I've deepened my friendships with through those trips. One being Lady C, she was the Caroline Fraser, the first person to tell me to actually go to Blueprint, and I'm forever indebted to her for telling me to do that and actually taking her advice. It was life changing.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Did you meet Frankie at the workshop we did, or did you know him before?
I met him at D Battle actually. Raul was with him.
Oh, right.
Right. So I think he was being brought for the workshop that you did.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the time before.
Oh yeah, because they partnered for this battle, right? Yeah. So that was the same weekend.
Right. So that weekend it was Nia Centre, Raul, and Frankie versus myself, Daniel Keith Morrison, and Kat. So that was the first time I ever met Frankie. I believe that was 2015. And then maybe 2 years later, I went to London for UK B-Boy Champs, and ended up facing him actually.
Right.
Really funny.
And you guys, I saw you did a workshop with him at some point in Toronto.
Yeah, in Toronto, yes. Yeah. And the thing about Frankie is that every time that I'm around him, I just grow so much more, in my ability to share what, the things that I think of, and the ways that I'm thinking about dance and movement. And he just gives me more and more tools every time I'm with him, or just like we chat and we talk. So that time, I brought it up, and he was really like all for it. Because of that, and every time subsequently, like I become a better sharer, a better teacher. So shout outs to Frankie J.
And so now you kind of spend a lot more time outside the country. Do you feel like you feel like responsible for representing Canada when you?
I can't say that there isn't a little bit of pressure to put on for Canada. I definitely do. This place and brought me up in street dance, so like I definitely put it on my back whenever I go out, and just to give people more of an idea of where Canadians are coming from, because at some point there was only a few names being mentioned over and over again, just to give a different perspective. So
especially for hip hop.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm always excited to put on for Canada when I'm out, and there is a little bit of pressure because I'm like, oh, you're kind of living in Junior Boogie's shadow a little bit. Having traveling to Europe, because he's the last person people remember coming from Canada for hip hop. So yeah, step to the occasion, and I do what I can.
And especially now you're representing Canada, but not Montreal, because everybody knows Montreal.
Right.
People don't know Toronto.
No, they
more
don't.
Than
that. People don't even know Mississauga, which is pretty much what I say most of the time, just outside of Toronto, and they're like, where is that?
Right.
Okay, Toronto, Sean. But yeah, every time I go out and I say, even people who know me for a couple years, they still think I'm from Montreal, because that's the first place you go to when you think about Canada.
It's Montreal.
Right. But yeah.
When you talk Toronto, it's Drake. There's no dancer in Toronto. It's just Drake.
Or the Raptors. Yeah. The Raptors.
Which is more or less, related now.
Right. You're so right. Oh, I wonder if he did that on purpose. But we're not talking about
he's an ambassador. Yeah, let's not talk about
Yeah,
Drake.
let's not talk about Drake.
So so you're the Toronto face of Toronto now. You're Toronto's Drake.
Well,
Or no, Bieber is not from Toronto anyway.
yeah, no.
No, you don't want to. You prefer Drake than Bieber, right?
Over Bieber?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
He's
Debatable.
He's disowned us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So well, I mean, there's also obviously Lady C on the Calgary side, and Vancouver. Is there any name that in hip hop? Yeah, in hip hop was Enugu, but I don't know if anyone knows dancers from Vancouver.
Right. I mean, in hip hop freestyle.
Well, there's JoJo.
Yes, JoJo, of course.
Yeah.
Hip hop freestyle wise, I mean, while I was there, I did try to learn as much as I could. There wasn't really a lot going on hip hop freestyle wise, but definitely Natasha Gori. She's sort of presented herself as this, this veteran, and that Vancouver kind of, is definitely behind. She's so loved and like an icon over there. She actually lived in Amsterdam for a few, I don't know, months, for some time, and she represented well for Canada. Yeah, when she did Summer Dance a couple years back. So yeah, I would say Natasha Gori is someone definitely for sure from Vancouver. And breaking wise, they have so many people to mention, so many notable.
Right. Well, break. I don't know that world. Just kidding.
Yeah,
So it's always about break. We talk about other styles sometimes. Especially in Toronto, like when I was traveling there, it was all about break. And yeah, they have like super nano and stuff. All my first dancer friends were all breakers, so but let's leave some room for others. For hip hop, I was really wanting more hip hop in Toronto.
In Toronto.
Yeah. So what I was gonna ask is, do you see a change, and is this change between within inside you with your growth and all that stuff, but multiple things like first you see a change. Well, there's obviously a change and an impact that you can't do on what's going on in Toronto, but you see a change in the way people in the scene see you.
Yes.
Oh, you see, or vice versa, and is there a change in the way you see
people?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I definitely see a change in the way that I'm perceived. And it's gone from being sort of this person that was always around and like sort of a figure that you would see all the time, or like not all the time, but kind of staple to Toronto, right? Or the surrounding areas, and to all of a sudden like not really be readily available. People have started reaching out to me in more of a we need you back sort of feel.
Needy a little?
Yeah, a little like, kind of wanting to share and what I'm learning and all of that. And I feel good that people feel like that, and it's a difference though. It's sort of this now having a little bit of responsibility to come back and share it to the best of my abilities, because now people actually want to how do you say,
to learn from you?
But just to hear what I have to say,
right?
And in a different way, in a way that's like interested, rather than just like, oh, you came to a battle, like you did what you had to do. It's more of a, I would like to pick your brain and see how you really think. So that's really refreshing for me, to be viewed like that, because there's a lot going on up in that noggin sometimes. And as for how I see Toronto, we all have our qualms sometimes with the scene, with our scene specifically, because it's so close to us, it's so personal. But with the space away from it, I start to see like the beauty of it, like the characters that we have, how it's impacted me, how the things that are so great about my movement or artistry, there were seeds that were planted in Toronto. So I'm like super grateful for it. It's one realization that I had a long time ago, and just not a long time ago, recently, but it's been planted a long time ago. And realizing that there were people who saw this potential forever ago, and for them to come to me and say that it's nice to see me really stepping into that, the richness and the fullness of it. Yeah, it's nice.
So I don't know about other people, but I know
Mm-hmm.
from my perspective that it's because of people like you
Mm-hmm.
that we continue doing more events. Because it's for people like you that we saw that it would be useful.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and I'm so grateful for them. Like if there was no brain freeze, I probably wouldn't have met this someone like Lady C, who's like a huge mentor to me. And then really
I
like
met her there.
yeah, that was the first time I ever saw her dance, and it's because I was telling you this earlier. It was my first ever house dance
Right.
event or battle, and I made top 16, and I faced her first round.
Right.
So,
They'll have the video of this.
right, and it was so great for me just to see someone moving like that, and for her to end up winning, it was uh, 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 it showed me what could be.
Right.
And I'm so grateful for that. Like for y'all, like another thing that is so important that I've learned is that an event is so hard to throw, to organize and to put together and to see till the end. So I'm learning a huge appreciation for organizers, and not just battles, but parties as well, and everything that we take for granted because it's like, oh, there should be more of them, but there are people who like putting in their blood, sweat, and tears to make them happen. So
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of spotlights, but
yeah,
I guess there's a lot of meaning, that you try to bring to your life when you do that too, right? And a lot of stuff that you do for just for others, and yeah, it's definitely a training side to it.
it's very selfless work. That's what I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very in this space, especially in art, it's very difficult because a lot of egos, and it's really difficult to find the right partners.
I can only imagine.
And sometimes the most tricky part is sometimes you you meet a person that is a potential partner, and in the beginning it's not great, but you don't know if this person is gonna improve or not. That's the part that's very it's believing in the potential of people to improve. It's like this, right? To improve their weaknesses, and coming better, and be careful with your communication with them. That was my challenge. And honestly, like, shout out to Raul, because we do that for Raul like for years now, and I've been rough on him. And I don't know how this guy stayed calm with me, because I was pretty rough, and I got better. Like, now we communicate very well, and he definitely fixed a lot of things that were difficult and challenging for me in the beginning. But it's all love now. Shout out to Raul. So do you plan, or since you feel like you have the responsibility, well, yeah, like, when you become a name for your city, you kind of have like the responsibility to bring that back home, right? Do you feel like, is that part of your roadmap? You think like you want to spend like a certain amount of time, coming back home, and because at some point, let's face it, you'll teach other people.
For sure.
You'll be starting maybe a new generation of dancers.
For sure.
Do you like budget this in your roadmap for later?
mean, absolutely. I'm always thinking about longevity, like not for myself as an individual, but in like the things that I believe or I believe now and all of that. I definitely think it's a responsibility of whoever has dismantled this sort of small power to do something with it. And I think that somewhere down the road, as things start to wind down, it has to be in your vision. However, I do believe in that time will come. And I never want to rush stepping into a role, that's not meant for me, especially in the city, like it being personal again. So I believe I'm going to take my time, but for sure, in the future, absolutely.
Yeah. What I personally observed, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but comparing like the internalizations of a lot of dancers made it that, and you can see this with all the pioneers in the U.S. Like I like this analogy of parents that works all the time and never get home, and basically they don't really build this relationship with their kids, and you can't transmit anything to your people at home, but you spend so much time with other people outside,
Right.
so your household is unstable. And I remember talking to Mariano a lot about this. He was very upset that everybody always leaves, but never necessarily bring back something back to Toronto.
Right.
And yeah, and I think that's the responsibility to try to take on, right?
I don't know where I got the mentality from. Maybe it's just, again, maybe like Mariano, watching people sort of cultivate this thing here and then leaving someplace else with it. I mean, to each their own, right? But there is always this feeling of like, no matter where the dance takes me, the art takes me, this idea that even if it's for a little bit, I have to come back to the place that birthed it, for me, and do what I had to do and share all of it because it's not mine to keep. It's not mine. It was never mine, to keep. I've watched it happen a lot, in the last 7 years of doing street dance and even past dance in general. So I've always had that mentality. Maybe it'll change. Maybe I'll see something that other people are seeing I just don't see right now. But even in the travels I've done before, I've always been really excited to come back, and even if it's just with my close group of friends, to show them like, yo, there's so much going on out there. But not only that, I've always said if whoever from Toronto or like surrounding areas, Canada in general, is going to a place that I've been to before, and you need that sort of gateway in, like I'm always down to be that connecting plug.
Right.
Always.
So who do you see? I'm a little disconnected from the Toronto scene in terms of dance, but who do you see as an emerging talent in Toronto that to look forward in the future?
Wow.
It's a tough one, eh?
It's a tough one.
Well, we're not here to ask easy questions.
Yeah, that we wouldn't be doing this podcast if it was easy. Besides the people who have, really made a name for themselves already in Toronto, within the city, and it might have changed because 5 months is a long time. I definitely see people like Fines. He can do so much with what he has, with life. I see people like Karim. If you've ever met Karim, again.
I don't think so. think so.
Young girl from Yukon.
Okay.
Moved out here for school, but
What did she do?
really talented. Everything you could possibly think
Yeah.
of. Breaking, hip hop, house. Dabbles in them all. I see Yofidelic, Kalia. I can definitely see her like latching onto something and like really growing. Um, those are the. I'm a
Yeah, that's enough. That's
I'm a
good.
pigeon
That's good.
hold myself right there and say those like those are some people that I really see, and there might be as well Siddhartha Gotham, the popper. I can see him doing so much with what he's got, and he's got like a great head on his shoulders. But that's from personal experience with all these people and talking to them and seeing how like they can really be so much greater. Everybody can be so much greater, but in the dance, them for sure for me.
Right. And if you had now you seen like many things in other countries. If you had a magic wand and would change something, like let's say 2 or 3 things in Toronto, what would you do?
Wow. One for sure is like this vibe that we have when we party. It's a very like dancer vibe. Like we're here to. Hey, we talked about it before. This cipher disease. You know what I mean? It's not a disease. It's just this thing, this mentality to circle up. Yeah, it's a street dance thing, but there's so much more past that to kind of just sway together with people, not necessarily even having to move and enjoy music together. Like for people you barely know, that is something I wish for everybody who's a part of the street dance community in Toronto, for them to feel that. That's one thing that I keep with me all the time. From coming back, just thinking, wow, I'm so blessed to have experienced that. That's one huge thing. I mean, I remember asking, I'm telling Karine actually to come to Blueprint because I felt that it would be great for her. Kind of like I was told that it would be great for me. And to see her walk into the room, not to experience the battle was secondary, but to see her just take in everybody coming together under the name of house dance and house music and enjoying that vibration, that frequency that we all created, and like her talking to me about it, not even talking, just we didn't speak, we just shared a look. I was like, yes, I'm glad. I didn't do it for you. You made the decision to buy the plane ticket and come out here, but I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you can feel that. And I'm so happy for you because it's life changing.
So what do you think is creating this disease? As you said, as you called it, not me, you did it. Just kidding.
Mentality disease.
Yeah.
It's just because it's what we know. Creatures of habit, let's say. You know, if you find something that works, why change it, right? That sort of mentality.
I don't know. I'm always the guy who question a little outside and like dancers are not always responsible sometimes. Maybe the music doesn't because I know some music makes you crazy and makes you like so happy that you just want to share that happiness with people. But when you have a certain music that just makes you want to step, not party, really step. There's music for everything, right? And I remember in Toronto, sometime I was going to a battle and people were playing party music for a battle. I'm like, no, you don't get it. Like this is not doesn't make me want to step right now. It makes me want to like boogie with people and. But sometimes that's the opposite. You go to a party and they play stuff that makes you want to just cipher or battle. And I mean, like as a person that's in a club, if people like, if you look at a cipher, only one person is dancing, and everybody else is doing nothing. if really the music makes you want to dance, you're just not gonna stay around and look at someone. You just wanna. The music is moving you, right?
Right. You wanna go there, find your own corner and do what you gotta do.
So, I tend to say it's kind of like 50-50, or maybe not exactly 50-50, but there's a responsibility.
That's fair.
From the curator.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why, all these other events are so special is because I've always loved what the DJs were playing.
Exactly.
It didn't make me want to cipher up and go call people out and stuff like that, it created this need to express in a way that wasn't in a cipher format.
And music provide the mood that gets at least it's my point of view.
For sure.
So which number 2?
Oh man, which number 2? I find myself just being nostalgic about where I'm from, being Nigeria, and the things that made it so special for me. That's a point in time I'll never get back, and it lives in my memories. But sometimes I wish for people that sort of experience, that sort of experience being this coming together, not for just dance, to celebrate.
Yeah.
That to celebrate.
Dance is not an activity; it's something that lives within you. It comes pre-installed, right? There's no just going somewhere and activate it.
It's
right.
It's not a switch you turn on and off.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I feel you on this.
Yeah, I would love for people to understand that or just experience that. It's hard because
go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm super lucky that I come from where I come from, and I can do that. My parents, they were attuned to this sort of thing, and it lives through me, and it lives through my close family, and it'll always be there because of the way that I grew up, and it's something I can't explain. That's why I wish for people to experience that in their own way. When some people ask, where is this coming from? I'm like, I can't explain that to you. It's really hard for me to go.
Yet, maybe.
What?
Maybe yet.
Maybe in
that's
the
the hard
future.
part. Maybe that's the hard part, is to reflect on what is the source of all that.
Right. It's and there are words that don't do it justice, like essence or natural talent or whatever. That doesn't do the I don't even know. See, the words can't come out. This coming together of unique experiences that have made me the person that I am.
I have a good one for you if you want.
Yeah.
Immersion, I think.
Immersion?
Yeah, if you are immersed in a certain culture,
right,
everything you see or hear are gonna have an impact on you. And I find that like what you learn growing up, you can't trigger this when you're older, but there's definitely an effort you can do of research and making yourself go through a certain discomfort, triggering the discomfort to force yourself to get out of your comfort zone, get out of your routines and habits, because that's how you grow, right?
You expand, for sure.
If you want to put it down to scientific, to science, so I'm not gonna go too deep into this, but our brain, it's a connection of neurons, and the tendency of our brain is to, there's a path between neurons, and those are kind of symbolize the habits. Like the brain likes to use the same path that it usually does, and it's a discomfort when you try to go in something you don't usually do. And but discomfort is always, we need to bless our discomfort and challenges, because that's how we grow. It's like when you're young and your legs start hurting. It hurts right now, but what's gonna happen is you get taller, right?
For sure.
So yeah,
I believe that.
but yeah, you can't not recreate that immersion you had, and you were like passively learning, right?
Well, that's pretty much the reason why.
That's why you can tell these people later. Stop being lazy, motherfucker. Get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Go talk to people or like learn music you don't know.
Yeah. Or just dig and find out for yourself. Stop. I guess don't wait to be told about so and so.
Yeah, don't expect the good stuff to come to you. You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
it's always like, it's like when you go to a jazz event, like musicians, and I don't know, maybe I'm a little trippy right now, but looking at the musicians, like their body language, even if it's not dance, there's so much thing that come out that can not just be learning in school. You have to like take it in your body, and well, it depends what level of music, right? But I'm always amazed that those people are able to communicate in a certain way to create that whole thing together.
Right.
And just when you don't know this and you start discovering jazz, it opens a brand new world for you, brand new level of understanding. Anyways, don't want to go too deep into it.
I mean, yeah, I've always found the level of like affinity to improvisation really interesting in jazz. Just like, oh, this didn't really go well. Well, it's fine. Let's see how far we can push it. I found it really, really nice. Sometimes maybe even it's the dancer's brain. You learn something new and you try to apply it to movement. And I've always found that really cool. I mean, I was listening to, this is a tangent, but John Coltrane.
Okay. Favorite jazz man.
Oh yeah. And there's a song in which he really just, I don't know if it was the time signature or the way he was playing, but it was so hard to follow for the accompanist, the pianist, that when he gave him his solo, he was struggling. I'd have to find that song for you, but I remember reading, like, there was a whole video about it and watching it and thinking, wow, how much of a genius, how out of the norm do you have to be to do something like that, where a trained musician can't even follow it on. That's beautiful.
Funny about Joel Coltrane. I was watching a documentary about Tribe Called Quest, and Ali Shahi Mohammed was talking about it, and was explaining how the reason why Tribe put so much jazz into, like, he was talking about jazz because of how Tribe incorporated for the first time jazz into hip hop, and he was explaining how when you listen to Joel Coltrane, you can hear that it's a music that went through a lot, and from people who were not able to communicate their struggle and did it through music. And I was like,
Oh,
that was deep. That was deep.
So fair.
I love Stardust, John Coltrane.
Yeah.
It's like my song.
Yeah, definitely. My go-tos are in a sentimental mood with him and Duke Ellington.
Right.
Either that or just Miles Davis with
Right.
Blue and Green, or yeah, or Charlie Parker.
What? Who? And okay, hold on. Let's go back to this after. But I was gonna say who was an influence for you in your curiosity for music. But let's wait for that one.
Sure.
Third wish.
I don't think I have a third wish. I would have to go back and really see what the state of everything is, because I've been gone for a minute and things change so quickly. So I don't know. But
right.
general, I just hope people can enjoy what they're doing more, and you know, in the words of Farsight, just kick something that means something.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
Well, there's a good thing I find for Toronto scene is that more and more people are moving to Canada, and part of them sometimes are dancers from all over, and they're actually not there just for one season. They're staying.
Yeah.
So that's definitely gonna make things more interesting.
We have something people need, people want, for sure, and
Jobs and
diversity.
Exactly.
Good food. All that aside, yeah, there's definitely something the city brings, and everybody I've talked to about it, they see that value, and you know, I just hope we can realize that, and cherish what we have, so that when people come, you know, it's a coming together rather than, you know, anything else.
Well, that's the thing. Like when you become so, we're talking about this when you are just deep inside a circle of validation in the dance scene, you just don't see what's going on around. And to give you a simple example, we've been doing this party for 3 years. We're going to, and certain dancers know about it, and we play full hardcore house. Like a lot of, like all the house dancers, Raul come all the time, and he's like, you can't go back now. Like he just every song's like every song, and they leave the jam. They stay until the last minute, and they're sweating like crazy. And there's way more dancers in the city that we see come to those events. And if you don't pay attention to what's going on, if you just stay in that circle of validation, you just miss out because the city is constantly shifting, right? So
yeah, it's easy to fall in out of tune with what's going on, and it's also easy to be complacent and not want to reach out and actually find out what's going on. You're right.
So yeah, go back to the question.
Yeah, the music question.
let me rephrase it. Who you think, where does it come from? Like, what influence made you so open, musically speaking? Because a lot of people are not open to the past, right? They like current stuff. They like what is being fed
Right.
by the radio. But you seem to have like a very, big curiosity.
I owe that, you know, love for just different genres, or like you said, this curiosity for music to my father. Huge music fan, music lover. My mother as well. Um, but I think it was just being around the house that I grew up in and seeing these like musical tools that I don't even remember ever being used, like records and record players and, you know, instruments here and there. I don't ever remember them being used, but just the fact that they were there, they were like symbols that I tied to my childhood. And, you know, again, talking about how I have this nostalgic feeling, these are things that I hold on to and cherish. So in terms of that, definitely I owe it to my dad. He's the type to go to like a Fela Kuti concert, you know, and wait till 2 a.m. for the band to come out, you know, and kick it all night till 6 a.m. Which is funny because now when he questions why I'm a dancer, and I'm like, did you ever really have any doubt? You were doing this. It's technically in my blood, you know. um, as for like movement, I remember my oldest sister playing a lot of MTV when, or like the African version of MTV. It was called Channel O, which I think is still around to this day. Um, but there were so many like there was so much stimuli in the house, and it would just come out of me at random times. And even for myself, before entering street dance, I wondered why I was so drawn to certain sounds or wanted to be close to these things, or even why I wanted to move in general.
Mhm.
But it was because of these unconscious placements in my memory, in my childhood. The music that was being played, it was expansive, from my dad playing all of the high life and the original Afrobeat, to all of the soundscapes of Africa in general, to my sister playing neo soul and hip hop and R&B music later on. It just made me like a lover of good music in general.
You had a good relationship with them?
Of course, to
That
this
probably
day.
played too. If you hate your sister, you're gonna hate the music, maybe. I don't know.
It plays into it, like um um I think, at one point it was a little rocky with my parents in terms of choosing dance as a career. My sister was always for it, but sort of fearing for me and like financial stability and all of that, but um it gets better. Those things get better, and you like with communication and clear, open lines of talking. Things get better. So it's at a great point here. But I think at one point when it was the worst in terms of that, I it made me want to do it more. It didn't make me want to give it up and then go, yeah, whatever. It made me want to be like, oh, you don't think I can do it? I'm pretty sure I can, or even if I can't, I'm still gonna try. So maybe that's the rebellious spirit that was
So maybe that's just life testing you.
for sure.
It's always in those hard choices that if the parents are there for that, right? They're there to make you doubt
Right.
and to see, if your character is strong enough to go through it, to go through the struggle. Because if they make you struggle, I guess it's hard when your parents make you struggle because you don't want to disappoint them and all that stuff.
Right.
But if you can, like if you can go over this, like I mean, it's like you set yourself up with a strong base.
Right.
It's funny because even like when I moved to Canada, it's funny how life always put those challenging to make you doubt, like at the last minute.
Right.
You have like all those, you're in this the mindset of like, okay, I'm leaving, I'm going to start a new thing, and then you have all those events that are there to make you doubt and make you want to stay home. Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
They all start popping up like, but what about this? What if you stayed here and this happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to get out of the comfort zone.
For sure.
Nobody ever became, successful by being average.
I believe that for sure.
Yeah. What do you think of this whole movement around African music blowing up?
Dun dun dun. At first, again, being protective of this thing, this ideal, this music that raised me, this precious thing, I wasn't okay with the form that it presented itself in.
Right.
Being Afro pop, and the ways that it was happening, and the sort of artists that were being put to the top.
Right.
But then, as all things do, you kind of sit back and you look at the impact that it's having on people, on their enjoyment of music, and you start to realize that you can't really ever hate on that. I was happy to see people enjoying sounds from Africa.
Right.
In whatever form.
Right.
And because this is how things go, anybody who really loves it will look for more. And there's so much richness coming out of that continent, in terms of music, fashion, everything, that I got to a point where I was now happy to see it coming out like that, and even sharing that happiness with people, regardless of the fact that sometimes it might be a little played out and a little cheesy. The songs that are popular.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm just happy that these African artists who go through so much, like, because, corruption, distress, natural disaster, wherever you're from, you know, some of them are well off, but, just the fact that they can put
They portray themselves as well off.
you know what I mean? All the gold chains and everything, because that's how they think it should be.
Right.
In any case,
Whose fault is that, eh?
What's that?
Whose fault is that? Rap?
Yeah. Somebody put it in there,
Yeah.
But I'm just happy that they're doing the best that they can in getting their recognition. I just hope that they're not being manipulated. That this thing that, again, I love, that it's not gonna be.
But I mean, you said it all. Like, even outside of the recognition, the fact that they're building up this house is important.
Yeah.
When we started going to, we had a lot of conversation with my partner. We intellectualized that stuff a lot, about how we saw like an analogy between now, like, trap music and Afrobeat coming up. I want to say more generally African music, right? And back in the 70s, disco and rap and hip hop. I don't want to say rap, but hip hop, where you had like a, that's enough type of feeling with disco that became just way too commercial, and this new, fresh air coming from the bottom.
Right.
And I don't want to like, it sounds so cheesy, though. It's not that simple.
Right.
But that's the analogy that we saw and wanted to participate into pushing it. And well, now it's becoming like, it's still pretty poppy. But I remember having a conversation at Bust to Move, actually. Shout out to Spicy. With Frost the B-Boy, not even Frost, but Frost the B-Boy Frost. Yeah. And I was also pretty like sometimes hating on commercial stuff, right? And he said something about movies like Breaking, all of those movies that were, quote unquote commercials. And he said that it's true that for a lot of people, those commercial stuff is the gateway to more underground quality, work. And can't really hate, because at the end of the day, people who are really looking for it, people who are starting, being interested into this raw art, so most of them are going to come through a commercial gate. And if really they want to put the extra effort to find it, they will.
Yeah, it's all there for them.
Yeah, but people who are just interested in just, getting whatever is in their reach, or, being fed to them, are not necessarily worthy to find this golden nugget, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know if we're interested in having you guys at the party, You guys kind of whack.
That's the thing, like, these, rather than, hate these commercial artists, that you just sort of change your perspective and see them as messengers, or like middlemen between the thing that's so popular and the thing that is so rich and so beautiful, and like you said, like we both said, it's just a gateway into like the promised land
Right.
of good music. And
it's pretty crazy that you have all those conclusions for yourself so young. I had TK on the podcast, and he actually, I asked him the same question about, the fact that African music is rising right now. What do you think about it? And all those, because I talk to other people, and a lot of them are mad at how people instrumentalize African dance, for example, to make money. And I hear that a lot. A lot of hate, a lot of complaint, and TK was different. He was like, "I'm just happy about it. I'm just," and it really opened my eyes. I was like, "It's right, it's right."
it's it like anything that's good, people will try to manipulate it, right? You saw it done with breaking. However, look at breaking now. It's in the Olympics. People might not like that, but it's just you know, it'll always turn out good. As for Afro dance or African dance, however people want to call it, I have qualms with calling it Afro dance. um, man, again, I think my wish there is that people learn that it's not just one popular thing, like one popular movement. That there's a whole community of people who are behind this thing that you think is one step. You know, birthing it, expanding it. It's like you can have a whole village or two or three, sitting behind the step or like a movement. So I just hope people do their research and learn, like, yo, there's more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
It's not just some trend. These are people's lives.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the thing. It's let's be honest. It's a lot of people do things just for hype, right? That's just the reality. Yeah, but it's just respect, for thinking like this that young. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Just my own opinion.
I appreciate that.
Like,
Yeah.
not everybody is, digging and like going behind like the first feeling that you feel. Like a lot of people just follow. I always say that feelings are like signs on the road. They're there. You don't have to necessarily follow them. And emotions, the same thing. You can feel angry or irritated by something, but why? Why are you exactly? Right?
Yeah, figuring out why you've reacted the way that you have. I don't even know where I picked that up. Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Maybe it just got to a point where I was tired of wasting my energy and time on getting frustrated or mad or to some point for no reason.
Right.
Because who's like I'm in charge of my emotions.
Right. And your energy, how you spend it.
For sure.
A little quick stuff. All right, let's wrap this up.
Yes.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate this. Just bouncing off ideas off each other.
And let's looking forward to a lot more growth. All right.
Blessings.
Peace out.